All right, here we're going to do an unboxing video for the ToolPro Drywall Taper. This is a dry tape taper, or what's more traditionally known as a banjo. Let's go ahead and pop it out of the box. Out of the box, you're going to have the directions, and you have the banjo itself. Inside the cavity of the banjo are the handle options you have. You can tell this is a dry tape banjo because this door is open, and a wet tape banjo, this is missing. There's no guard here, and the door covers the entire banjo. And the usage on that, and they're not as popular, is when you put it in the mud in the drywall, you put it all in together, which means you have to use all the mud or all of that drywall tape. If not, anything left over, you have to throw it away. This keeps the tape separate from the mud, so you can work as long as you like. And then when you're done, your tape roll is over here, dry and not covered with mud. We have two sets of handles that come with this, so you have your choice of using a wood handle. That's the most popular. You also have a choice of using a web strap handle. This takes a minute to put on. So here's something I've learned. It's a little easier to do this before you put in the screws. To make this tight where it won't slide out, put it in twice. It's a little work on the front side. Loop this up, back down. And traditionally, once you do this, if you pull all the slack out, this will be a little bit clearer when I'm done. Pull as much slack out as you can. In other words, make it as small as you can. You're still going to tighten it. That's going to make it suitable for most hands, and it's easier to loosen than it is to tighten, especially once you've already added the straps. So you need you are going to need tools for this. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver to properly tighten it, as well as either a pair of pliers or 8mm wrench or socket wrench. 8mm or 5/16, either one. So the wood handle is the more commonly used, but I'm going to show you how to put this one on because this is the one that actually gets questions. The wood handle is real easy to install because it's a wood handle. It comes with 2 wood screws. This one has a little strap buckle that you have to attach the strap buckle to them. I wouldn't say complicated, but it definitely has a little bit more work to it, and that's what brings questions. So that's good from the back. Bring this back over. And a lot of times you get a question as to what this is. This is the thumb guard. So if you install it with the thumb guard, with the wood handle you don't need this. But with the strap handle, this actually gives you a little bit more control, a little more leverage. I'm going to tighten this down. So now you tighten the pin. Now when you're holding, put your hand in there, and you've tightened down to your hand, you have a place to put your thumb, which gives you a little bit of push when you're tearing the blade, you can push it forward. That little thumb guard, that thumb support becomes very handy. Our ToolPro banjo also comes with an additional blade. These are very sharp. It's a stamped steel. It's to help tear the paper. They do get dulled over time, and they also just get bent. So by replacing this is something you won't have to replace later. We've included in the package. If you look to the inside, you'll see that this thumb control is where you set the depth, how much mud you want to meter out onto the tape. You can adjust that depth by turning the thumb screw. Once you get it to the location you want, you can use this nut, just snug that down, and that will hold it in place, so it won't ever have to be adjusted again. If you're using a consistent mud and you're mixing it the way you want, that's pretty useful because some banjos tend to, the screw will be can loosen over time. So. Now, the instructions show how to load this banjo. You put the tape on the tape reel, feed it under that pin and over this pin, and then out this door, filling this area with your mud. A lot of users don't put it over this pin. We'll put it on the other side of this pin. Again, that's just a personal preference. How much water you've added or soap you've added to your mud will make a difference there. It's just a personal preference. I would say the first time you try it, trying it this way guarantees that the tape stays high and doesn't push the mud down. So as you're pulling it, it's metering on the mud. As you can see here, if you put it this way, it's pushing down on the mud. You might tend to get more mud or more drag. So this is the way it was designed to use, but you see a lot of times people not using it that way, using it open like this and filling this compartment with mud. So just personal preference. That's why those two pins are there. You do want to stay underneath this pin. But whether or not you go over this one or stay on this side, again, it's personal preference. But once you get it in, snap it shut, fill it full of mud. Now you're ready to extract it. You have the mud you want and a clean edge to tear it with. That's the ToolPro Banjo. This is a dry tape tight style banjo.